You meet someone new, and within days you feel completely invested. You are already imagining a future with them. You are thinking about them constantly. You are sharing things you normally keep private. You are moving faster than feels comfortable, but you cannot seem to slow down. Then something shifts. They pull back slightly, or do not respond the way you hoped. And suddenly you feel panicked, rejected, and confused about why you got so attached so quickly. This pattern of fast attachment is not random. It is not about being needy or desperate. It is about how your nervous system learned to bond with people, and it is deeply connected to your earliest relationships. When you get attached too fast, you are often trying to recreate a sense of safety or belonging that you missed early on. Your nervous system is searching for the feeling of being seen, chosen, and valued. And when you meet someone new who gives you even a small taste of that feeling, your body rushes toward it. It does not wait. It does not question. It just reaches. Fast attachment often comes from anxious attachment style. If you grew up with inconsistent emotional care, your nervous system learned to monitor relationships closely. You learned to read people, to anticipate their needs, to try to keep them close. Your body developed a kind of hypervigilance around connection. So when someone new appears and shows you attention, your nervous system recognizes this as an opportunity to finally get what it has been missing. But there is more to it than just anxious attachment. Sometimes fast attachment comes from loneliness. When you have spent a long time without deep connection, meeting someone who seems to understand you can feel like relief. It can feel like finally being rescued. Your body releases chemicals that make you feel bonded and safe. And your mind starts building a narrative that this person is special, that this connection is rare, that you have finally found what you have been looking for. Another reason for fast attachment is that you mistake intensity for intimacy. When you share vulnerable things quickly with someone new, it creates a sense of closeness. Your nervous system interprets this as bonding. But sharing vulnerability is not the same as being truly known. Real intimacy takes time. It requires consistency, reliability, and repeated experiences of being safe with someone. But fast attachment skips all of that and jumps straight to the feeling of connection. Fast attachment can also be a way of avoiding yourself. If you focus all your energy on someone new, you do not have to face your own loneliness, your own pain, or your own unmet needs. You do not have to sit with the discomfort of being alone. Instead, you can lose yourself in the excitement of a new person. You can make their life, their problems, their emotions your primary focus. This feels productive, but it is actually a form of escape. When you get attached too fast, you also tend to overlook red flags. You are so focused on the feeling of connection that you do not notice inconsistencies in their behavior. You do not see the signs that they might not be available or trustworthy. You explain away their coldness as shyness. You interpret their distance as mystery. You convince yourself that if you just give them more time, more understanding, more love, they will finally show up for you the way you need. This is where fast attachment becomes dangerous. Because you are already emotionally invested before you actually know the person. You have already created a fantasy version of them in your mind. You have already imagined a future together. So when reality does not match the fantasy, you feel devastated. You feel like you have lost something precious, even though you never really had it. Fast attachment also affects how you show up in relationships. When you move quickly, you tend to give too much too soon. You share your deepest fears before you know if this person can be trusted with them. You make yourself available at all hours. You prioritize their needs over your own. You become someone you are not, hoping that if you are accommodating enough, they will stay. This pattern of giving too much too soon comes from a deep belief that you are only worthy of love if you are useful. If you grew up with parents who were emotionally unavailable or conditional in their love, you learned that affection had to be earned. You learned that you had to be good enough, smart enough, helpful enough to deserve attention. So as an adult, you unconsciously recreate this dynamic by giving excessively to prove your worth. Another layer of fast attachment is the fear of losing the person before you have even fully had them. Your nervous system is so afraid of abandonment that it tries to secure the connection as quickly as possible. It is like your body is saying, if I can just get them to commit now, they will not leave me later. But this desperation actually pushes people away. It creates pressure and intensity that healthy people do not want to be around. Fast attachment also means you are not taking time to assess compatibility. You are not asking important questions. You are not observing how they treat you over time. You are not noticing whether their values align with yours. You are not checking whether they are actually available for the kind of relationship you want. Instead, you are caught in the emotional rush, and that rush feels like love. But here's the truth. Fast attachment is not love. It is projection. It is fantasy. It is your nervous system trying to solve an old wound by finding someone who will finally make you feel safe. Real love develops slowly. Real love is built on trust that is earned over time. Real love is about knowing someone deeply and choosing them anyway. So how do you slow down? The first step is awareness. Start noticing when you are moving too fast. Notice when you are sharing too much too soon. Notice when you are making plans with someone you barely know. Notice when you are imagining a future that does not exist yet. This awareness is not about judgment. It is about creating space between the impulse and the action. The second step is to set boundaries for yourself. You might decide that you will not say, "I love you" before 3 months. You might decide that you will not introduce someone to your family until you have known them for 6 months. You might decide that you will not make major plans with someone until you have seen how they handle conflict. These boundaries protect you from moving faster than your nervous system can actually handle. Another step is to slow down the physical intimacy. Physical connection creates bonding chemicals that make you feel attached. If you move slowly with physical intimacy, you give yourself time to actually know the person before your body is flooded with attachment hormones. This does not mean you cannot be physical. It means being intentional about the pace. You also need to maintain your own life. Do not make the new person your entire world. Keep your friendships strong. Keep your hobbies alive. Keep your sense of self intact. When you have a full life, you are less desperate for one person to complete you. You are less likely to move fast because you have other sources of meaning and connection. Another important step is to work with your loneliness. Fast attachment often comes from running away from loneliness. But loneliness is not dangerous. It is just a feeling. If you can sit with loneliness without trying to escape it, you become less likely to attach to the first person who comes along. You become more selective. You become more intentional. You also need to grieve the fantasy. When you get attached too fast, you are often grieving not the real person, but the version of them you created in your mind. You are grieving the future you imagined. You are grieving the feeling of being rescued. If you can acknowledge that grief, you can move through it faster. Finally, you may need support. A therapist can help you understand why your nervous system moves so fast toward connection. They can help you build a stronger sense of self so that you do not need someone else to feel complete. They can help you learn what healthy attachment actually feels like. Getting attached too fast is not a character flaw. It is a sign that your nervous system is searching for something it did not get early on. But you can learn to move slower. You can learn to observe before you invest. You can learn to build real intimacy instead of chasing the feeling of connection. And when you do, you will find that the relationships you build are deeper, more stable, and actually worth the attachment. Subscribe for more on attachment, relationships, and deep mind patterns. Like if this helped you understand your attachment speed with more compassion. Share it with someone who gets attached too fast and thinks something is wrong with them.